Hi besties, welcome back to the channel. This is Stomi. So if this is your first time coming to my channel, this is the face behind the channel. So today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how I made this Milkmaid dress. So it is very simple and very easy to follow. So do not skip any part so that you can get every detail of how I achieved this dress. And do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel and on your post notification button so you get notified every single time I post a new video. So this is my pattern paper and I've marked out my starting line. So guys, I'm sorry I used a pencil for this. So now from the starting line, I came down 9 inches for my chest line, 10 inches for my bust board, 13 for my under bust, and my waist is 17. So this other side, I did the same thing, 9 inches for the chest line, 10 inches for the bust points, 13 for the under bust, and the waist is 17. Now I'm going to rule that out. Guys, I am sorry I used a pencil. At this point, I wanted to use a pencil so that if I had any mistake, it would be easier for me to clean. But I forgot that I was using a yellow paper. So please forgive me. So we're just drafting out a basic bodice. Like this is something we do all the time on the channel. So now label, this is my chest line, bust points, under bust, and this is my waistline. Now on the shoulder line, I will divide my round shoulder by 2. I'll mark 7.5. So my round shoulder divided by 2 will give you 7.5. That's 15. I only mark the same 7.5 on the chest line and I'll connect. For the neck width, I made use of a neck width of 3 inches. And for the depth, I used 3 inches. And I will use the dotting method to connect. So if you don't have a curve ruler like me, you can always use the dotting method. It still gives you the same thing, just that it takes a little time, unlike curve ruler. Now on the armhole side, I'll come down 1 inch for my shoulder slope and I'll connect that to the neck width. I'll measure what I have on the armhole and I have 8 inches. Half of that is 4. On that point, I came in by half an inch. On the chest line, I'll divide my round bust by 4. I will mark. I'll connect the 3 points together to cover up my armhole. So guys, we are done drafting out our basic bodies. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is I'll be marking my nipple to nipple measurements. On the chest line, I marked my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4.5. I did the same on the underballs and on the waistline. Now I'll connect them together. So on the underballs, I'll be marking half an inch on both sides. This is my dart intake, so I'm taking a dart of 1 inch. I did the same for the waistline. I'll connect the dart on the waistline to the one on the underbust. Now from the bust point, I'll come down 1 inch from the bust point. Now I'll connect the dart on the waistline to meet the 1 inch I came down on the bust point. After that, we are done. So guys, for the chest line, I'm maintaining my chest line, but if you don't want yours like mine, you can come up by 1 inch from the chest line. Now from the underbust, I went up by 1.5 inches. I'll connect that 1.5 inches back to the underbust. So you see what I'm doing, I am dotting it out. I don't have a curve ruler, so if you don't have a curve ruler, you can dot it out this way. It still gives you the same thing, but if you have a curve ruler, you can just go ahead and use it. Now this is what I have. On this other side, remember we took a dart of 4.5 inches. I'll be marking it on this other side too. Now I'm going to rule that out. After that, I will draw it out straight. This is serving as my new chest line. Now this is what I have. So I'm connecting from the underbust to meet the 4.5 inches we marked on the chest line. So I'm just going to rule that out, connect them together.
this is what I have. Now I'm using my marker to shade it out so that you guys will see what we have clearly. So guys, so this is how my cups look. Now I'll be taking my body measurement. On the chest line, I'll be adding 2 inches for my stitching allowance. I'll come to the waistline. I'll divide my round waist by 4. I'll mark. I'll replace the 1 inch that I have there, and I'll add my 2 inches stitching allowance. Now I'm going to connect them together this way. So after connecting, I'm going to still connect it on the chest line. Now I'll use my marker to shade them out, so you guys will see the places we'll be cutting out. Now I'll be shading the dots points, the dots marks, because we're equally cutting that out. Now this is what everything we have. The next thing we're going to do now is to cut out this pattern. So you cut out the waistline first, then sides, cut out the upper parts. After that, you're going to cut out your cup. Now we'll take out the dots we have on the waistline. So keep this aside so that we'll work on the cup. So this is my side front and my center front, so you don't get confused. Now we'll work on the cups. So we're using the splash and spread method. So for the cup, I'll be marking 1 inches interval on the cup. After marking the 1 inch, I will rule that out. Now this is what we have. I'll label it. So label so you don't mix them up. After that, we're going to be cutting it open. So cut it of them, each of them out. I'm done cutting. I'm going to get a fresh pattern paper. I'll be placing them on it. So I'll place my number 1 first, and I'm going to pin it down. So now the space I want between each of the patterns is 1 inch. So I'll mark 1 inch and I'll place my number 2 on it. I'll mark another 1 inch and I'll place my number 3 on that 1 inch. So I'll do it for all of them and I'll bring it back to show you what I have. So guys, after doing that, this is what I have. At the upper part, I added 1 inch at the upper part because we'll be hemming the upper part, and on the side and on the lower part, I added 1/2 inch. So for the back piece, I've already drafted it out. I don't want this video to get too long, so just like we do all the time, I've marked my neckline, my armhole, chest line and waistline, and I added my body measurements. So I equally added a dart of 1 inch on the waistline. So that is basically all for it. Now I'll be cutting out from the chest line because we don't need the upper parts. This is an off shoulder. So I'm going to open up the darts, but before that I will label. So always label so you don't get confused. Now I'm going to take out the darts I have on the back pattern. So now I'm going to use all these pieces to cut out my fabric. So I'll do that and bring it back to show you. Here I've cut out my pattern. This is for the center front. At the upper part, I added 1/2 inch. I did the same for the side and on the lower part. So for the center front, we are cutting it out on fold, and I have 2 pieces. That is the main piece and the lining. Now for the side, I did the same. I added 1/2 inch all around. And I have 4 pieces, 2 for the main piece and 2 for the lining. Now this is my back pieces. So I'm going to set it well. You see where the arrows are pointing, mark it so you don't get confused. Now I added 1/2 inch at the upper part, on the side and on the lower parts. I did the same for the side piece. I didn't add on the side because I've added my stitching allowance. Now I don't forget to add your 1-inch zipper allowance. So what I'm going to do now is I'll place them together this way. Now for the cup, I have my cup. I have 2 pieces for the cup. Remember, we've already added our allowance all around. So now to work on the front piece, I'm going to bring my front piece. I'll take out the pins. Then I'll take out the lining. So I'll open up the center piece and I'll place the sides on it this way. I'll place them right side facing each other and I'll be stitching with 1/2 inch. Now for the back, remember we'll have 4 pieces for each one, 2 for lining, 2 for main piece. I'll take out the pins. So I'll get 1 center front and 1 side. I'll place them together. I'll stitch with 1/2 inch. So I'll do that for both the main piece and the lining and bring it back to show you. Now after stitching the front, this is what it looks like. I've equally ironed it out, and this is for the lining. I ironed it out after stitching. Now for my back pieces, I've sewn both the lining and the main piece. Now we'll be stitching the upper part with 1/2 inch. I'll do the same for the sides. But before we stitch, we are going to be adding our rope, our strap. So this is my own. You can cut it as how long you want. So we'll place it on the side this way. I will close it and we are going to stitch it down. I will do the same for the other side. Close it on the side, close it and stitch it down. So now this is my cup. I'll take out the pins. The straight line on the cup is my center front, so I'll fold it in 1/4 inch and fold it again by 1/4 inch, and I'll stitch it down. At the upper part, I'll fold 1/2 inch in and fold 1/2 inch in again, because this is where we're passing our rope. After that, I'll run a loose gather stitch on the down part. So this is for my back. I've already turned it out. Now this is what the back looks like. And for my cup, I've done one part already. This is the one I've done, so I'll be demonstrating with one. So for the upper part where we've sewn, that is where we'll be passing our strap in. So this is the upper part where we hemmed 1.5 inch in. So remember, while cutting we added 1 inch for the upper part, because this is where we'll be passing our rope. So here I've passed my rope, and at the down part I'm going to gather it. So after gathering, this is what I have. I'll get the center front. You see that pointed edge? I'll place the center one of the cup on it this way. I'll take it to the machine. I'll stitch it all around with 1/2 inch. And I'll do the same for the other parts. I'll place it and stitch. So I'll do that and bring it back to show you. Now after stitching my cups, this is what everything looks like. So remember, we're going to add a rope to the front, so that rope will be on the armhole side. So you're going to place it on the armhole side. So this is just a demonstration. We are not doing that yet. So place it on the armhole side this way. You're going to pin it down. Now I'm going to get my lining. I'll place them right side facing each other. I'll open up my dress this way. I'll pin it center front to center front. We're using this lining to cover the rough edges. Center front to center front. So pin it all around. So do not get confused. Just watch carefully what I'm doing. If you have any question, ask me on the comment section. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe. I have amazing content. So I'll pin it all around. So I'll go stitch it with 1/2 inch. So I'll do that and bring it back to show you what I have. So after stitching, this is what we have. Do you see how neat the inside looks? And this is what the front side looks. So all the rough edges are on inside. So now we are going to close the side. I'll turn it together this way, lining and the main piece this way. We'll stitch. But before we stitch, now this is where we are going to add our rope. Now I can place my rope on the side now. Then I'll close it with the lining. I'll take it to the machine. I'll stitch with 1/2 inch at the upper part, and I'll close the sides with 1/2 inch. So I'll do that and bring it back to show you what I have. After stitching, this is what we have. Now do you see how neat the inside looks? Now I'll be placing the back and the front together to stitch down. I've equally marked out my body measurements. So for the rope, I came in from the side by 3 inches and placed my rope. Now I'll place them together and stitch. After stitching both the front and the back piece, this is what everything looks like. So let's work on the skirt. So for the skirt part, it is gathered. So I have 2 pieces of different lengths of fabric. Now for the first fabric, remember my waist is 28, divide times by 2 will give you 56. So for this first layer, I have a length of 56 inches. And the width I have is 56 and the length is 10 inches. So for the second layer, I have 56 times by 2 will give you 112. So for this second layer, what we have is 112. So for the second layer here, the width is 112 and the length here is 12 inches. So how you're going to get the length you want is when you divide, you take out your half length, depending on how long you want your gown to be. Whatever that is left, you can now divide. Let's say, okay, mine, if you take out my half length, I have 22 inches left. So I divided that 22 inches and I got the length I want for the both gathers. So now the smaller part, which is the one of 56 inches, I'll be gathering the one of 112 on top of it. On top, I'll gather it on top this way until I exhaust all the fabric I have. Now after gathering it, this is what I have. I'll get my front piece. I'll gather the upper part of this skirt to the front piece. So I'll do that and bring it back to show you what I have. So guys, this is how everything came out looking. I've equally hemmed the lower part and added my zipper. I didn't want this video to be too long because it's getting long already. So thank you guys for watching up to this point. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel and on your post notification button so you get notified every time I post a new video. See you on my next video. Bye.